Welcome to the Happy Hormones Coach podcast, your go-to source for all things women's health. I'm here to guide you through the ups and downs of hormonal changes, helping you understand how these shifts impact every aspect of your life. So whether you're in the perimenopause phase or really any other phase of life, looking to improve your overall well-being, or just seeking practical tips on stress management, nutrition, and fitness, then this podcast is for you. Join me as we explore holistic and functional approaches to health, share expert insights from guests, and empower you to feel your best at every stage of life. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to remind you that the information shared in this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any medical condition. Always consult with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your health regimen. Hey, welcome back to the Happy Hormones Coach podcast. So today we're diving into a topic that's super relevant this time of year, holidays and food. Whether you love holiday treats like me or dread the idea of overeating, this episode is here to help you feel more balanced and in control without missing out on all the fun. And so the holidays are full of joy, tradition, and connection, but they can also be very overwhelming, especially when it comes to food. It's easy to feel stuck between indulging and staying on track with your health goals, but what if I told you there's a way to enjoy the season without guilt or stress? Well, in this episode, we'll explore why overeating often happens during the holidays and how our emotions and traditions tie into it and simple strategies for navigating it all. And at the end, I'll share a quick action step to help you feel confident around food this holiday season. So let's get into it. So first, let's talk about why overeating is so common during the holidays. It's not just about the abundance of food, there's actually a lot more at play. So during the holidays, there's often an endless supply of special foods that we don't see the rest of the year, right? Like pies, cookies, casseroles, you name it. This abundance can trigger a kind of feast mode mentality where we feel like we have to try every single thing, and we might even want to try every single thing. The temptation is very real. And also, holidays bring up a mix of emotions: joy, stress, nostalgia, even sadness. And food often becomes a way to cope with those feelings, especially if it's tied to comforting memories. And a lot of us fall into a trap of thinking, it's the holidays, so I'll just start fresh in January. Hence, the gyms are so packed the beginning of the year, right? And then it kind of fades out. It's kind of goes along with that all or nothing thinking. And this mindset often leads to overindulgence because we give ourselves permission to abandon balance altogether and just think we're just going to put it off. We'll just start fresh at either the beginning of the new year or beginning of the week, whatever that looks like. And friends and family often encourage us to just have one more. I know, especially family, this is true. Just have one more, or not be a party pooper, right? While these gestures are well-meaning, they can make it harder to stick to your boundaries. So, example, think of the last holiday party you attended. Did you feel pressured to try everything on the table? Or did you notice yourself eating more because it's the holidays? These are common experiences and they're completely normal. And let's talk about emotional eating, because it does happen a lot during this time of year, actually. Especially if there's any stress, if there's any grieving or sadness. This time of year can be really hard for a lot of people, and eating kind of gives them that comfort, as well as not just maybe the holidays or this time of year, but it also is with the weather, like seasonal affective disorder, and that can come into play with emotional eating as well. And so although the holidays can be stressful, there's still other things like travel, gift buying, hosting, and sometimes even family dynamics that aren't the easiest to navigate. Food can become an outlet for those feelings. An example of this might be you might grab a handful of cookies after a tense family conversation because it provides a quick sense of comfort. Or you might overindulge in desserts because you're feeling overwhelmed and need a moment of joy.
And so the key here is not to feel guilty, but to recognize the pattern. And emotional eating isn't bad. It's just your body's way of asking for relief. So when you understand what's driving the behavior, you can start to respond in ways that feel better. And food is a really big part of holiday traditions. That's not a bad thing. Sharing meals is a way we connect with others and celebrate. But it's important to ask yourself, are these traditions bringing joy or are they adding pressure? And so do you feel obligated to eat your aunt's famous pie because she made it for you, even though you're already full? Are you overloading your plate at Thanksgiving or Christmas because you feel like you need to get your money's worth? One tip here is to prioritize what truly brings you joy. If your favorite holiday treat is pumpkin pie, then make room for it, but maybe skip the rolls or mashed potatoes if they're just filler for you. It's not about restriction, it's about choosing what feels meaningful. So how do we enjoy the holidays without swinging between overeating and total restriction? Well, again, it starts with balance. And here are a few simple strategies that you can try. So the first one is use the 3-plate rule. So visualize your plate as divided into 3 parts: protein, veggies, and indulgences. And this helps balance nutrition with treats. And number 2 is pace yourself. Instead of loading up on your plate all at once, start small. You can always go back for seconds if you're still hungry. And number 3 is a biggie: stay hydrated. Thirst often feels like hunger, and we don't know the difference, especially with all the rich foods. So drinking water throughout the day can help you avoid overeating. Number 4, pause before seconds. So give yourself a moment to check in with your body. Are you still hungry or are you eating out of habit? And number 5 is enjoy mindfully. Eat slowly and savor your food. This not only helps you feel more satisfied, but it also makes the experience more enjoyable. And so here's an action step that you can try this holiday season. Write down your priorities. Before heading to a holiday meal, jot down the foods you love and want to enjoy. This gives you a clear plan and helps you focus on what matters most to you. And number 2 is set an intention. Decide on how much or how you want to feel after the meal. For example, I want to feel satisfied but not overly full. Keep this intention in mind as you make your choices when you go to eat or make your plate. And number 3 is plan ahead for emotional eating. So if stress or emotions are likely to come up, have a plan for it. This might mean taking a walk after dinner, stepping away for fresh air instead of reaching for more food, journaling. It doesn't matter, even walking away. So that can help. Any of these little steps you can try, and just remember just to make plans and prepare ahead of time if you know you're going into a stressful, maybe family gathering, anything like that. And my tip would be stay away from politics and religion. That's always a good one to do, not at the family table or, not with family or friends at all. So that's it for today's episode. It was very brief, but I hope it did help you to give you some quick tips as to what you can do and what you can try. And I hope you feel more confident and prepared for the holiday meals. Remember, the holidays are about joy, connection, and celebration. It's not about perfection. You'll always hear me say that. It's about progress, not perfection. So if you're ready to take control of your holiday eating and create a plan that works for you for next year, you can download the free editable 2025 calendar. It's in the show notes. And you can use this with anything, but it really will help you balance indulgence with wellness and take the stress out of holiday meals for next year if you want to plan ahead, or anything else that you want to plan for in 2025, which is coming up. So as always, if you found this episode helpful, leave a review or share it with someone who could use it. I appreciate it. And thanks for tuning in. I will see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the Happy Hormones Coach podcast. I hope you found today's episode insightful and empowering. Remember, taking charge of your health is a journey, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. If you enjoyed this episode or any of the other episodes, please be sure to share, subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It does help me to reach more women like you who are striving for optimal health and happiness. And don't forget to follow me on social media for daily tips and inspiration. Until next time, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep thriving.